Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is 7:30 on the last Tuesday of the month. You are in the right spot if you are working towards passing your real estate license. I'll just be checking in on my left to make sure that you are seeing what I want you to see. So give me a couple of seconds to set things up. If you are with us, go ahead and share in the chat box that we see you so that we can go ahead and get started with the information. So I'm just checking in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're able to put it in the chat for YouTube, definitely we appreciate it. Let me see what's going on here. Okay. Okay, I think we are good. I am going to get started. Get ready to pass your real estate exam using our channel, Pass the Maryland Real Estate Exam. My name is Brenda Kasuva, and what we are doing right now is definitely going through what happens after you pass that real estate exam. What happens after you pass that real estate? Okay, good. So sorry. Welcome to the Pass the Maryland Real Estate Exam. My name is Brenda Kasuva, and I am going to guide you through today's conversation where we are going to be tackling what happens after you pass that real estate exam. So that's where we're going to start off for now. And so what that means is we want you to share with others what it is that we do. We help people pass the Maryland real estate exam. So definitely these are the resources to help you pass the exam. Our YouTube channel. We have an ebook. And we also have tutor sessions that you're able to take advantage of. So you would be able to go to trainingwithbrenda.com. I look forward to helping you get to the next stage of passing your real estate exam. Beyond passing your real estate exam, what is it that we do? We tell people that what we do is that we shall start your real estate career. We're a guide to help you when you are ready to get your Maryland real estate license. If it is elsewhere, we have individuals who can help you as well. For example, if you want to get a second license in DC or Virginia, we're also able to help you with that. Where we shine is helping you pass that real estate exam. Beyond that, professional development to maintain your license and also get better at what it is you would like to specialize in once you get your real estate license. So anytime you have questions for us, please go to trainingwithbrenda.com/ask. That's where you'll be able to post your questions ahead of time, or right now you can go to that website and share with us what questions you might have. If you choose for us not to answer them live, then I will not do that. I will respond to you directly. Or if you want us to respond to you right away, you're able to go there. So I thank you for being here. And if you're watching this on the replay, put your comments in the chat box. I'm just trying to make sure that we are on the same track right now. And I'm also going to go ahead and see whether we have any questions that have been posted so far. So let's check that. Okay, nothing yet. So we're going to continue with our conversation just to see. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure that you should be seeing what I want you to see. Bear with me. Okay, let's get back on track. Our conversation today is going to start off with what excites me is when people share with me the next chapter. Sometimes I'm asked, do you have any statistics as to how many people you've helped? Unfortunately, unless people reach back out to us and let us know what's happening, we don't really tend to get that information. But this is one of them that really warms my heart in terms of people sharing what it is that happened after they passed the exam, and excited to share that they passed by using our channel to help them pass. Another one was very excited to see that we do continuing education and shared that they are now paying attention to the next chapter of once the next chapter that comes once they passed the real estate exam. So that is just wonderful. Let's probably review about the real estate exam. And when we're talking about that real estate exam here in Maryland, we are using the PSI exams. That's the testing facility. It covers about 20 states. So you're going to probably experience similar things unless they are testing something in your state outside of Maryland that we in Maryland don't have yet. We're discussing when you go to the testing facility, you're going to be given a calculator, so you don't need to bring one. Some locations are still giving out paper and pencil. Some locations are now upgrading, or rather trying to be more environmentally friendly and just giving a dry erase board with a marker that you're able to use. And then you have some earplugs if you're going to be distracted by noise. And the last one is the amortization chart. Usually I get questions that how am I expected to remember the amortization for that particular time period based on the interest rate? You don't need to remember that. That chart is going to be provided to you at the testing facility. And so depending on the setup, it will be in the cubicle or on the surface table that will have the keyboard for you to be able to utilize it as you go through the exam. We are working very hard to make sure that you're ready to now get your license. So at this stage, if you're watching this particular video because you have just passed your final exam and now you are working towards going ahead to take the state exam, please plan out your study time. And so what that means is some of us will say, well, I'll take the exam maybe in 2 or 3 weeks. And then you start cramming everything the night before you are scheduled to take your exam. This is not one of those type of exams. This is analytical type of an exam where you need to apply the content. So pull up your calendar, map it out, what days and how long am I going to study, and break down the study time based on the topics that need your attention. If it's a first time, then maybe you're going to look at the ones that present the most questions. If things did not work out, then you're going to pay attention to the ones that you need to focus on. You do need to know what you're getting yourself into in terms of the questions, and those are provided on our website, trainingwithbrenda.com. You are able to get the breakdown of the national content, which has 11 topics. And then on the Maryland side, you have 6 topics, and it also breaks it down for you. What is it that you're going to be asked as you go through the topic? The exam. Keep in mind that some of us have gone there. Some of us, it didn't work out as we hoped. And so we're feeling frustrated. We're probably upset. and all these emotions as to why you did not pass. I acknowledge that, welcome that, sit through it, but then you need to schedule right away, as long as you're within your time frame. Here in Maryland, it is 1 year. From the moment you complete that particular course, you have 1 year. So if you've taken the exam and it did not work out, you're going to be presented with how things worked out for you. What that means is, if you did not do well on the national, you'll be provided the 11 topics, and then you'll be told how many questions you got right. You will not know which ones you got right or which ones did not work out, but at least you'll have an idea. Same thing on the Maryland side, 6 topics, and then how you did based on those 6 topics. So you just need to focus on those topics and get stronger at being better on those topics. Don't worry about the others. Focus on those topics and then go right away and take that particular exam. Let's now celebrate in terms of we're getting you to that stage where you have passed the real estate exam. So I'm going to be one of the first ones to wish you congratulations. You are now sitting outside of the exam facility. Either you're waiting to be picked up or you're in your car. Congratulations. Enjoy that moment. Hopefully, you're going to recall it when you're going through a transaction and the ups and downs in the transaction, that you will recall that feeling when you eventually get to the final stage of closing. To those who have joined us, thank you for being here. We're now celebrating that you have passed that real estate exam. You have passed both parts of the exam. And if you did not pass one of the parts of the exam, meaning that you went, took the exam, you passed the Maryland real estate law, congratulations. Now you just need to go back and take the national exam, and or vice versa. You shall get to this point where you are celebrating that you have passed that real estate exam. Now, as we're celebrating, the reason why we're doing this particular video and having this conversation is a lot of us know the process of what it is that you need to get your real estate license in Maryland, it being 60 hours for the salesperson. And then you know that you need to pass that final exam. And then you know that you need to pass the PSI exam. But some of us don't really understand what comes next in order for you to actually have your license. So that's what we're focusing on today. Should you have any comments or questions, go ahead and put them in the chat box. I see you, Janet. Thank you for being here, Miss Janet. Anyone else that I missed, we thank you for being here. You can put your comments in the chat box, or you can go to trainingwithbrenda.com/ask. And I will respond. If you're watching the replay, put your comments in the comments as well. Thank you for watching. Where were we? We were celebrating that you have passed that exam, both parts of the exam. And now we're going to focus on, so how do you actually get your license? So what you've done so far is a lot, the course and passing the exam. Now to get your license, you need to be 18. I bring that up because when you were taking the course, yes, you know that you need to be 18, but I just want to sidetrack a little bit because as I'm recording this video, it's summertime. And some of you might be guardians or parents to individuals who are trying to figure out what's the next step after they graduated, or during this particular break, this individual is maybe 16 and a half or 17 or even 18. This is a perfect opportunity for them to go ahead and take the course. So they can take the course as early as they would like, as long as by the time they're getting their actual license, which is what I'm getting at, they need to be 18. Another way to say that is the individual could be 17, taken the course, gone and passed the exam. Now they just need to wait until they're 18 in order for them to actually get their license. So the person needs to be 18 to get their license. How do you get the license? You've taken the prerequisites. You need to select a company. So we'll spend some time on that. You will pay the licensing fee to the Real Estate Commission. We'll talk about that. And that particular license is good for 2 years. How do you actually select the broker? This is going to come in very different forms in terms of that process. Here, this person is the one that's going to be supervising, guiding you in everything that you do attached to your license. So it might feel like too much pressure selecting this person, but here I'm here to let you know that if you select a company and you feel after X amount of days or weeks or months or even years that it's not working out, you have the ability to transfer to a different brokerage. You don't need to take the class again or the exam. You will just pay a transfer fee. So if things don't work out, don't feel as if you're stuck there. You have the opportunity for you to be able to transfer, or better yet, once you've been licensed as a salesperson here in Maryland, you have the opportunity for you to go ahead and take the broker course, 135 hours, and become a broker yourself. So there's that route as well. The selection of the broker could come many different ways in terms of somebody recommends someone. If you don't know anyone, maybe it is a recommendation from the people you took the course with. Sometimes, however, we're taking the course self-paced through the different vendors out there. So then maybe you're going to check out online based on reviews, their reputation, or you are going to interview other agents. Maybe how you ended up taking the course was because another real estate agent recommended that you take the course. You can always check out with them. Now, here, the beauty of this type of, career would be when it comes to selecting the broker, you're the one who's going to be interviewing them. So I know probably most of your other careers, you're the one who was going out there and being interviewed. This one kind of works a little bit different in terms of you're the one who's deciding where you're going to end up. Now, I know, to be fair, you don't even know what it is that you're going to be asking them, right? So when you've gone to an interview, you're the one being asked questions. Yes, you've done your homework and you're going to probably ask a few questions, but they're normally leading that particular conversation. So it might feel a little bit awkward or different from what you've experienced with others, that now it is on you to be interviewing them. I'm here to let you know that there's certain questions that you're able to think about. We do have a checklist on our website that you're able to complement that particular conversation as interviewing different brokerages. Usually they somehow have your contact, and you might, or not might, you most likely will be getting contacts from the brokers already once you pass your real estate exam. And if that's not happening, then my dear, search around. I'm sure you are able to search online. There might be some brands that you're attracted to. Wherever you start, that's a good starting point for you. And again, I mentioned you can always transfer at any time. You're the one who's going to be interviewing them. And when I say them, who is it? This is going to be either the broker of the company, Now, the broker doesn't necessarily have to mean that that's the owner. The broker is just the person who's the supervisor of everyone under that particular company. Or maybe sometimes you're going to be speaking to the office manager. What that looks like is that a company has, let's say, 20 offices, and you're going to be interviewing the manager, let's say, the Whitemarsh office. Or maybe you're going to be interviewing with a team leader. And what that looks like is this is the individual who's leading others, part of their team, but they're still part of a brokerage. So maybe you're joining a team and you're the one who's figuring out whether that's the route you want to go. Or sometimes you're going to be speaking to an agent who's the one that has been kind of given that particular responsibility to go ahead and recruit individuals. This particular dialogue is going to be tied to what is it and or why you got your real estate license. If I give you my example, and probably this is where some of us might relate, is I honestly did not have an idea or even have very close friends for me to interview and or find out about real estate. My journey started with me working at a help desk facility, and that particular company where I was working, they were providing support to real estate agents. So I was just talking to real estate agents on a regular basis, showing them how to use a software. And as a result of our conversations, it led to, hey, what do you normally do and how do you do it? And then they told me what to do. I don't even know. Yeah, there was internet. Yeah. So I got my license in 2004. I don't even know how I stumbled on taking the class with that particular company. 2004, for those who might know, the real estate industry was pretty much you just show up with a license and you have the business. So it was a class of about 30 or so individuals in the class. I think only 3 ended up finishing the course and actually taking the exam and passing out of 30. And then I did not know any better. So I ended up with the company that provided the real estate course. That was my journey. And eventually I became a technology trainer for that company. And then I switched to a different company. And now I have started my own. So your journey might look different here. Wherever you end up, you are the driver of this particular car. And so how you want it to go, wherever you end up, this is your business. And so you need to treat it as a business. Treating it as a business is where you show up, you're marketing, and you're doing this because of whatever it is that made you get your real estate license. So it might look like some of us are trying to get a license because we want to be investors. So we want to create a portfolio for ourselves. How does that look like when you team up with that particular company? So you're going to be buying your own properties. Either you're going to be fixing them up for sale or fixing it up for rental, or where you're going to live, second home, whatever means here why you're getting the properties to increase on your portfolio. How does that work in that real estate company is a question to ask. Or the other route is maybe you want to do property management, but you also want to have your real estate license. Will you be able to do that? That's a question to your future broker. Some brokers will say no, because property management in Maryland does not require a real estate license. And so when things go wrong, the individual has the opening to go ahead and get money from the guarantee fund. So some brokers will not allow you to do property management. If you want to do property management for others, you need to check that out with your broker, whether they are okay with that. How is training going to be offered? and how many times, the frequency, which way. Do I have to show up at an office? Can I do it virtually? Are there times it could be done hybrid where I have the option to go into the office or not? Is it self-paced? Do you get a mentor, somebody who's going to guide you? All that is going to be covered in the training part question. Do you have to pay for it? Those are questions you'll be asking. And the other one, probably that I know most of you have it at the top of the list, is okay, now that a transaction has been completed, you're the one who brought in the business, how you getting compensated? And since you're starting new, what does that look like? And as you bring in more business and get to closing, finalize on a transaction, does that change? Does it change every year? Like, how does that work? Those are questions that you're going to be asking. You're also going to be asking how much it is, definitely. I'm sure you want to figure that out. What is that compensation between you and that broker? Is there going to be a broker fee? And as I mentioned, does it change once you hit a certain number or in terms of experience? Those are the questions you're going to ask. If there's anything else, you're definitely welcome to check out the checklist we have on our website, trainingwithbrenda.com. That's just one piece of it. We started off with getting you to pass the real estate exam. Congratulations, you've passed. Now we got into the selection of the broker. In order for you to get your license, there are going to be some fees that you're going to pay. So I'll start with the first one. To get your license, you do need to have the broker. So what that means here is, for example, if it's Miss Janet, you went ahead and passed your real estate exam. You've selected that you're going to be with Cast Realty. So you will get some information from that particular brokerage, and you will go to the real estate commission, and online you'll be able to provide that information and essentially apply for your license, pay your $98. The broker will receive notification, and then we shall be able to send you a copy of your license. So all of this is digital, and it is almost immediate unless there's something that comes up that needs to pause it a little bit. Maybe you owe money to the state of Maryland that might delay the process. However, it's very quick in terms of you getting your license. And you're doing all of this just going to the Real Estate Commission website. So the Real Estate Commission website, which I'm sure you're familiar with, you are spending time there by checking out the content. So that's the Real Estate Commission website. Sorry, I thought I had it open. You'll go to the Real Estate Commission website, click on apply for a license, and you're good. Now you have your license. Your license is good for 2 years. The next thing is, now all of this is part of the, what is that word? Onboarding with that particular broker. If they belong to the National Association of Realtors and they want you to become a member, then now you're going to select that particular option. So what that looks like is, in order for you to be able to access the database of homes, so when you're working with a buyer tenant or with a seller landlord, the multiple listing service is the database that we access, that some of the websites you visited or you're still visiting shows you a list of homes. We pay for that. It's anywhere from $120 to $174 a quarter. So to get it activated, it is about $250. The MLS system that we use in Maryland is called Bright MLS. These instructions will come from your broker. So here I'm just talking about the money that you need just for you to get started. I know you've already invested in the licensing course and taken the exam. Now we're talking about the next step. In order for you to produce and have an income, you'll need to have your license. That's $98 for now. The fees are going up soon. And then your renewal fee for now is $78. And to review again, that's every 2 years. The system, the database, activation fee of $250, and then you have the quarterly fee of between $120 and $174. If you're curious as to why there's a price difference, it depends on the association you join. So I'm going to talk about that next. So the cheapest, or rather the less amount, $120, depends on the association you're a member of. So what is this association we're talking about? We have 16 associations in the state of Maryland. And so in Maryland, the state association is known as Maryland Realtors. And so how this all works is based on the company and based on where you're located, they are going to kind of put it in geographic regions. So the 16 spread from Anne Arundel County, there's Bay Area that covers Kent and Queen Anne counties, Carroll County, Cecil County, Coastal, which covers Somerset, Wicomico, and Worcester County, Frederick, Garrett, so I won't read all of them. Greater Baltimore, that covers Baltimore County and Baltimore City. Greater Capital, that covers Montgomery County. These are just the examples. So there's 16 of them. The broker that you decide to affiliate with is a member of probably one, if not more, associations. For example, I belong to 3. I belong to Howard County Association of Realtors. I also belong to the Greater Baltimore Board of Realtors and also the Greater Capital Association of Realtors. Why? I just want to know what's happening in that local association. And 2, should I get any agents that want to be part of those areas? We're good. And the other one, truthfully, is because I teach for a lot of associations. And so I wanted to be able to have access to as many as I can afford, to be honest. So your broker, whichever association they are part of, and where you want to do your business, you're going to be joining that. Joining looks like what? You're going to, let's say, select the Greater Baltimore Board of Realtors. And when you select that as an example, then you'll go to their website and you'll be able to go ahead and join. The join-in fee depends on when you join. What that looks like is, for example, the Greater Baltimore Board of Realtors fiscal year ends in June. So in July, the fiscal year starts. So the fee will look a little bit different than it does when you're joining in September. So the first time, the initial time, it is prorated based on when you join. So it's anywhere from $800 to $1,000 for the year. What is this covering? You're getting access to 3 organizations, the local association, and then you're automatically going to be a member of the state association, Maryland Realtors. And then you're a realtor, you will become a member of the National Association of Realtors. So all 3 come at that one price that you would be paying on a yearly basis. Whichever one you join is then going to influence or impact the cost of your Bright MLS. So you'll be getting guidance from your broker on that. Beyond that, so those 3, actually I should have put the other one on that list. So errors and omission is something else that you would need to discuss with the broker, or rather your future broker is going to talk about that. This is insurance in case of us messing up. It was not intentional. And now we are facing that challenge of where somebody has made a complaint and so on. So that's errors and omission coverage. And the last one is Sentry Lock. Sentry Lock here, what we're discussing is, yes, I have my license to practice. I have access to the database. And I have access to the local association, which then gives me access to a lot of benefits. But the bigger one is access to the forms, the addenda, the contract. All that is covered in that fee that we spoke about before, that $800 to $1,000 that we're paying for the year. Sentry Lock is the system that we use that is going to securely store the keys that give us access to people's properties. So Sentry Lock is that system. So the device provide both like a lock system where we put the keys, and then also access system that we have access to on our phones. We're going to be paying that. That's roughly about $200 for the year. So in all that, that's where you hear people saying it's about 2,000 for you to have your license. You definitely need to make sure that you do what? You have a transaction in order to pay those fees and also to gain some income. The conversation with the broker as you're interviewing them is asking them what their fees are. What that looks like is, are you paying them for providing you an office that you could use? Are you paying them for, because the compensation looks a little bit very, very different? So that is also something that you're asking in terms of, is there a broker fee that you would be paying? All of this does not even include your budget for marketing, branding, getting yourself out there. So you need to also consider that. How will you be generating business? Any business or leads that are generated by your broker paid for it. So I can almost guarantee you that there will be a cost for the broker giving you those leads, whether it will be through a broker fee, whether it will be based on the compensation you're getting paid, might be a little bit lower because that lead came from the marketing efforts of the broker. So keep that in mind. It's a good way to start, but you need to also have your budget for marketing and branding and so on. So that is all. That is the process of how you get your real estate license here in Maryland. We are looking forward to hearing from you in terms of how we can help you in your journey. Share when you pass. I look forward to seeing you at a continuing education class in the future. Should you have any questions, go to trainingwithbrenda.com/ask and we shall respond right away. Or if you want to wait until our next YouTube live session, we are striving to do them every last Tuesday of the month at 7:30. I wish all the success. Thank you for being here. I will see you next time.